Hello, dear people. Dear people, welcome to the channel. I'm a couple minutes behind, but nonetheless, I am here and in the building. And if you guys saw the advertisement for today's video, we are talking about neurodivergency and all the different things that either separate us or connect us or gives us reason to appreciate one another a lot more. So as you come in, please know that the chat is for encouragement. So don't be afraid to encourage one another in the chat. Let me know where you're from if you choose to do so. Without further ado, I'm going to get right into the lesson. So neurodivergence and the assistance that's needed. Neurodivergent is a non medical term used to describe people whose brains develop or work differently. My exposure or the exposure, the likelihood that many of us have encountered a man, woman, or child that processes information differently than we do is more common than you think. Because neurodivergency doesn't have a particular look, we could very well be working alongside said individuals related to them or have long standing friendships with them. This is why it's important to understand the differences in people so that we strengthen our own abilities at lending a hand. So some of those different types of neurodivergency is autism, ADHD, Tourette syndrome, other various learning disabilities, dyslexia, difficulty with language skills, especially reading, and dyscalculia, which is a new term I just learned. Okay, but you can look it up. And this is difficulty with doing basic arithmetic. And I found this information on verywellhealth.com just in case you guys want to further investigate my findings. So my introduction, this came by way of my natural ability to identify the visual differences I saw as a child while attending school. Some children were in wheelchairs, others wore braces on their legs to assist with ambulation, which is walking for those of you that don't know that medical term. These children were normally paired in smaller groups with other children, which I understood to be different in comparison to the size of the classroom that I was in. Adding to that, I was raised in the same household with a brother that is also neurodiverse. His story belongs to him, so I will only make mention of it, okay? And a lot of y'all that already are subscribed to my channel that have checked me out on numerous videos, which I do encourage you guys to get familiar with my energy so that you know what angle I'm coming from. Y'all know how it is when it comes to certain things. I just don't open certain cans because sometimes you don't know how to close it. So my personal connection, and this may surprise a lot of you guys, I myself was placed in resource classes after returning back to Tennessee from living in California. And this was due to my school transcripts not arriving in time. I thoroughly enjoyed the smaller setting and the access I had to my teacher. She was very hands on with each of us, as there were only a handful of students under her direction. So when I came back from California, I was in the second grade is what they put me in, but I was technically in the third grade. And because my transcripts had yet to arrive to Tennessee, I don't think that they knew exactly where to place me. So somehow I ended up in resource classes, which wasn't the worst thing. If you continue listening to me express myself when it comes to that, because when they did get my transcripts from California, they ended up putting me in the grade I was supposed to be in. Because I remember going back and forth with the teacher. I was like, I'm not supposed to be in this class, or I'm not in the second grade, and everything. But anywho, so my confession, I'm very well aware that I learn differently than others who are termed neurotypical. And at times, I regret the decision made that resulted in me being kept from learning through a modified education. By my own admission, I oftentimes have to reread certain informational literature and documents to gain comprehension. Those that know me in my private life, they know this. So this is not a secret to them. But to those of you that are trying to find out more about me, this is definitely something that I deal with in my personal life. And I embrace it, because if you don't acknowledge certain things, it's hard to work through it, or it's hard to gain that level of understanding that you're seeking out here if you're acting as though you don't need some, extra help or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't always understand complex writings upon the first read. So I will reread something. I ask a zillion questions and I'll ask it to whoever. I'm not always the most intelligent in the room, which is a perk, okay? Because if you're the smartest person in the room, honey, you're in the wrong room. But anywho, I do my best at making sure that I'm not missing any of those moments where I could be learning something and taking it in the way it's supposed to, simply due to me not wanting to ask questions. So I ask my questions. So y'all get comfortable with asking people questions, especially if you don't understand it. My deepest connection, having raised a son that's on the autism spectrum, is what inspired this lesson altogether. For those of you that do not know, I do have a 22-year-old son. Of course, I won't go too deep into it because he does want me to respect his privacy. But this is something I feel like we all should learn and get a better understanding of. So therefore, I will make mention as needed. Having raised a son that's on the autism spectrum is what inspired this lesson altogether. One of his greatest strengths is his ability to show and give compassion for all of human and mankind. With that being said, he is not limited in his desire to acknowledge his love and appreciation for me as his mother. He's written me raps and letters over the years to express his feelings in detail. Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay, y'all know I do music, right? Some of y'all know I do music. A lot of y'all that may be coming into this whole journey of mine. I do music. I am a published artist. And so my son, naturally, he loves music. Old school, new school, all that. R&B, country, a little bit of country. And all of that. And so, yeah, he's sitting down. He's written me raps. He's written me poetry. On occasion, he's brought me in flowers from outside by surprise, which I can remember him bringing me in some flowers one particular time. And I don't think I was having a bad day, but I might have been more quiet in that moment than I normally am, no talking on the phone, any of those things. And of course, he was a little younger, but I remember him bringing me in some flowers from outside. And it just kind of made my day. And with some assistance from two family members, he was also able to gift me something for my birthday one year and for Valentine's Day. Most recently, on Mother's Day this year, he came into my room to apologize for not being able to gift me anything, which, I understood and I get it, and so in honesty, he doesn't know how to enlist help from others. Unless I make those requests to the people I know are capable of assisting him, it's not offered. And that's something I think everybody needs to understand. And the reason why I want to talk about this out loud, because, that recent encounter my son had with him, feeling some type of way about not being able to get me or gift me anything for Mother's Day, although, his heart was in the right place, and he didn't know how to make those connecting dots with certain family members to be able to make that happen for himself, and the times that he's done a lot of great things for people. And so I will tell you guys this. There was one of the first years of me being done with Christmas. And it was actually the year that my mom passed away. My mom passed away the end of 2019. And when she transitioned, it was like a little over a week before Christmas. I definitely wasn't in, celebratory mode at all, not even the least. And so with that being said, I kind of stepped back and I told everybody, hey, look, I'm not gifting anybody anything this year for Christmas. I'm just going to feel what it is that I'm feeling, because I was having a tough time emotionally. And so my son, he still wanted to give people something for Christmas. And so, of course, I take him around to all these different stores and he picked up gifts for everybody. I mean, everybody that I gift in my real life, he gifted them, kids included. And it was such a beautiful thing. This is something he chose. I kind of gave him direction on what to get because I know what these people like and everything. And I thought that was so beautiful. And so my son, although he has his limitations, he has a lot of different strengths. He's very helpful. He was senior of the year at his high school graduation. There's a lot of great things that come with being on the spectrum. And I don't think a lot of people look at it in a way that they should, when it comes to people that have these different neurodivergencies. They still have a desire to help others. They still have a desire to give things to others. And it would be very nice for somebody to, without me initiating, call and see if my son want to go get me something for my birthday or whatever holiday. I would love to be able to say, hey, my son got me this or my son got me that, the same way other parents are able to say these things, and I don't blame anybody for not doing it, because I have a very loving and caring family. I think these are fine details that a lot of people miss simply because we're not as conscious about it as we should be. So going back to that, with fairness, most people aren't as conscious when it comes to the needs of neurodivergent people. A lot of people on the spectrum, including many others with disabilities, still have a desire to please others. I'm certain that every family has at least one extra special family member, if not a few, that could benefit from your assistance. I hope that by me choosing to share some of my many fibers that shape my heart inspires you all to go out and provide that assistance to people who are different than what we are. There may very well come a time or two in your own life where you may need a little extra help. Because of the line that I work with my employment, I get to see the many different phases of people's lives. Maybe not the person they were before, but there are pictures, there are photos, there are conversations where people are talking about how these people were before certain things took place in their life that has them in a limited situation where they need assistance, they need a little help. And knowing that life does its own thing as we continue on these journeys, you never know what situation you might be in. So why not go ahead and get used to giving people assistance, putting a smile on other people's faces that you don't know, may need it, by helping people who need the help. And it always comes back to you. My life is so blissful. I'm never without, because I know that for a very long time, I've always given freely. And my son, I've never seen anybody during that Christmas shopping spree he did ever spend money so gleefully as he did. He was so happy to, and it was his money because he was working at the time. So it was his money and he was out here buying people gifts and he was just so excited about it. And oftentimes we hear other people when they're spending money, oh, I probably shouldn't have did that because I gotta pay this and I gotta do that. My son was just, it was just a beautiful thing. And a lot of people don't get to see that because they don't participate in it. So take a little bit of what I said from today's lesson of embracing those with neurodivergencies. Research the word, look it up, see what you find out on your own. If there's any family members in your life that you can assist, that you can help, to put a smile on your brother, your sister's face by helping their child that struggles in life with certain disabilities or differences. I'm telling you, man, your heart will smile and you're going to be setting the tone for the rest of your life should you need some assistance later on. I hope you guys have enjoyed this lesson. Until my next live, until my next video, happy Father's Day to all of the men out there. I wish you all the best Father's Day ever. May this be the first year that you got something that you really wanted. Until my next video, remember, if you are not loved anywhere, you are loved here. You are thought of and you are cared for. And I will see you guys then. Mwah.